Welcome to class. My name is Silas. Today's practice will be a journey towards Garudasana, eagle pose. We will take different variations of it to work towards it. And when we think about the eagle, the animal, it's not just about the elegancy, a bird that flies in the sky. It's also about their focus that they have through their eyes. And in the yoga practice, we have our drishti, a point to which we can direct our eyes. So for today's practice, there will be cues for your eyes to find points in space or points on your own body to rest on and to focus, because oftentimes our eyes are all over the place, and when the eyes wander, the body just begins to follow. So today's practice is for you an invitation to really notice, where's my focus as I'm flying through this practice? Where are my eyes? And then come back to it. You need a block, you need a strap. If you don't have those, I give you some options to work even without a strap. Block would be handy, but you can do the whole practice without. It's just really nice to, have props to feel the body differently and feel the support of these things. So find your way onto your back into half shavasana, taking the strap with you. And coming all the way down, feet wide, knees together, one hand on the belly, one hand on your chest. Lengthening through the back of the neck, and then closing down through your eyes. And just here now, taking a moment to arrive in your body, arrive in your breath. If you have ujjayi breath in your practice, you can bring this little whispering sound into your vocal cords. And even the attention to your breath, to your ujjayi breath, can be a sort of a drishti, a point to focus on. With the eyes closed, let the breath be the main character of your game right now. Following the inhale, following the exhale. Feeling the breath spread into the back body as much as it does spread into the front body. Breathing into the floor, breathing into your hands. And take one full round of breath here. And after the next exhale, grab your strap. And then if you don't have the strap, just hug the right knee into the chest, and you can work with the knee as we continue. If you have a strap or even a towel, you can unroll the towel, unroll the strap, and then bring it around the ball of the right foot as you extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. So we're just going to start with opening the hips up a little bit, and then flex the toes back towards you as you pull on the strap. Now from here, externally rotate the toes out towards the side, so the entire leg begins to rotate towards your right. Now take the strap into the right hand, extend the left arm out towards the side, keep flexing the toes towards you strongly, and then begin to move the right leg out towards the side. Let the left knee fall towards the left to keep you balanced. See if you can keep both sides of the pelvis on the floor. That might mean you can't go all the way to the ground, but especially the left side that wants to lift, it stays heavy. Keep flexing the toes, keep externally rotating the leg, keep breathing into the hip. If you're just working with the knee, you're just pulling the knee across and out. Take one more breath in. And on the next inhale, bring the leg back up towards center. Take the strap into the left hand, or take the knee into the left hand. Extend the right arm out towards the side, extend the left leg down the mat, and then let the leg this time draw over towards the left. This time let the right side of the pelvis lift, maybe the foot comes all the way to the ground. Ground down for the right shoulder, and then move the right outer hip away from your heart, away from the right shoulder. It's almost like the right hip just drops down towards the left big toe. Continue to breathe. With the next inhale, bring the leg back towards center. Bend through the right knee and then catch the outer right edge of your foot into a half happy baby pose. And then bend through the left knee. Let the left knee fall out into a half butterfly shape. And you're just breathing into the pelvis here. Eyes can be closed. I'm keeping my eyes closed for the entirety of this practice, or for this entirety of this exercise we're doing at the start. You can also have the eyes open. I'll give you a couple of cues on the second side. So let go of the right foot just for a moment, extend both legs down the mat, take the strap off, let the hands be on your hips, and take a moment to notice right hip compared to left, right leg compared to left. You can sometimes feel like your right leg is 1,000,000 miles longer than the left. And then rebend both knees. Take the strap around the left foot as you extend it up. Maybe you just hold onto the left knee. And then flex the toes back towards you strongly. Here the gaze can just either be closed or up towards the left big toe. And then externally rotate the left leg. Left toes wrap towards the outer edge. And then take the strap into the left hand, extend the right arm out towards the side. Use the right knee to help you balance as you let the left leg move towards the left. Gaze can either be straight ahead, or if it feels okay for your neck, look towards the right big thumb, or the right thumb. Keep flexing the toes towards you, keep externally rotating the left leg. Keep the left hip grounded. And let the next inhale bring the leg back towards center. Gaze go up. Take the strap into the right hand, left arm out towards the side, extend the right leg down the mat, and then draw the left leg across towards your right. The gaze can either be straight up or turn them towards the left thumb. And then ground down through the left shoulder blade, keep flexing the toes towards you. Move the left outer hip towards your right big toe. And then on the next inhale, bring yourself back towards center. Then take a half happy baby pose on the left side and a half butterflies on the right side. Letting the left knee draw towards your armpit. Letting the right knee fall out towards the side. And let the breath just move into your hips, into your pelvis. From here, slowly release just for a moment into Shavasana, both legs down the mat, strap to the side. Take your hands onto your hips, noticing the sensation down your legs. And then from here, bend through your knees, hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze and then begin to roll up and down the spine, gaining some momentum to come all the way forward, cross your ankles, roll over your feet, and then find your way into a tabletop position. Hands are underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Then begin with a couple cat and cows. Inhale, the belly drops, heart draws forward as you look up. On the exhale, dome the back, tuck the chin into the chest, tuck the tailbone under. And continue like this. On the inhale, you get longer through the front body. Your gaze go either forward or up towards your eyebrows. On the exhale, get longer from tailbone to the back of the neck. Let the gaze come towards your nose or your navel. Inhale to draw the heart forward. Length through the front, gaze move. Exhale, gaze towards the nose or navel as you spread the shoulder blades. A couple more times, your breath, your movement. As you move between these two polarities, these two oppositions, extension on the inhale, flexion on the exhale. So you can take the gaze with you. You can also have the eyes closed and just look inside. Let the next inhale bring you back towards neutral. Tuck the toes under, walk the hands slightly forward of your shoulders, and then lift the hips up. Find your downward facing dog. And as you find your downward facing dog, just take a moment to walk the heels out, Press one heel down at a time, let the hips sway side to side. Just working into the side body, working into the back of the legs. Just being intuitive here. Having the gaze towards your big toes or towards your navel, depending on how good that feels in the neck. You can always close the eyes down. And then bring yourself back towards stillness, towards neutral. Take a breath in. On the exhale, lower the knees down towards the ground, grab your block. And then take the block on the long way, skinny way, in between your thighs, all the way up towards your groins. Squeeze the block with your legs, tuck the toes under, find your way back towards downward facing dog. And then squeezing the block internally, rotating the legs as you squeeze, lifting the hips up high. Maybe you close your eyes and then bring your awareness into the area where the block is touching your inner thighs. And using the block as an internal drishti, an internal thing to focus on. Grow long through the spine, inner palms heavy. And then begin to walk the hands back towards your feet, as many steps with the hands as you need. Inhale, lengthen halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, hold here. Keep squeezing the block, internally rotating your legs. Draw the heart forward, draw the shoulders back. Let the gaze just be just in front of you, wherever they fall. Maybe up towards the eyebrows. It's a more traditional version. Continue to breathe, keep squeezing the block. Take one more breath in. And the exhale, fold forward. Soft bend in the knees if you're blessed with stiffness. And then on the inhale, rise all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Squeeze the block as the arms reach towards the ceiling. On the exhale, swim the hands home by your side, Tadasana. Inhale, squeeze the block, lift the arms up, drop the tailbone. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway, uncurl the spine. On the exhale, hands ground down, walk the hands forward, find your plank pose. And as you find your plank pose, find length through the spine. Let the gaze just either be on your nose or just right in front of you on the floor. Keep squeezing the block, internally rotate your legs slightly, take a breath in. And the exhale, with or without knees, lower all the way down to the ground. Now kick back through the toes, press the tops of the feet onto the floor. Inhale, Cobra, peel the heart off the floor, elbows hug in. On the exhale, push back over hands and knees, find your downward facing dog. And as you find your downward facing dog, continue to keep your awareness in the block. Keep climbing longer from arms to hips. Keep moving the thighs back in space as you let the block activate your legs. And then begin to walk the hands back towards your feet. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen halfway, squeeze the block. Exhale, Uttanasana to fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands by your side, find Tadasana. One more round with the block. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Exhale, hands ground down, walk the hands forward, find your plank pose. Take a breath in to prepare. On the exhale, you choose either with or without knees, all the way down, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Keep the inner legs turning, spiraling inwards. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Find your awareness again. Notice when the legs fall asleep. Block is there to remind you. And then the next inhale, lift high into the toes. Begin to slowly tiptoe your way forward. Might be a bit awkward, but keep going. Knees can bend. Once you arrive, inhale, Ardha, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, gaze towards your nose. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms reach over your head. As the arms reach up, grab the right forearm with the left hand. Inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, side bend towards your left. Keep squeezing the block. Take a free breath here. Next inhale, come back through center. Change sides. Hold onto the left forearm with the right hand. Inhale, length. Exhale, side bend towards your right.
Take a free breath here. Next inhale, come back up towards center. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. And then take the block out towards the side. Well done. On the inhale, lengthen halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. See if you can keep the memory of the block in between your thighs. Exhale, hands ground down. Step it back, find your plank. Your journey to down dog, either Vinyasa or no Vinyasa. Moving through Chaturanga, up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog is where we meet. And then on the next inhale, reach the left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, draw the left knee into the chest, step the foot in between your hands, lower the right knee down. Inhale, low lunge, reach your arms up towards the sky. Take an extra breath in here. On the exhale, bend your elbows, find your cactus shape. Draw the elbows back in space. Look straight ahead, keep the back of the neck long. Take a breath in. On the exhale, reach your arms forward, right arm underneath the left. Take your eagle arms. You can either hold onto opposite shoulders or bring the right fingertips into the inside of the left palm. Now gaze straight ahead, either at your forearms or the floor or wall in front of you, maybe even your nose. And then move the forearms away from you, elbows in line with your shoulders. Spread behind the heart. At the same time, soften your inner shoulders. Now we want to move towards Virabhadrasana 3 next. You can keep the arms just like that. If you struggle with balance, you can hold onto opposite shoulders so your drishti in front of you can rest more easily in space. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee off, lean forward, shift forward into the left foot as you step the right foot off the mat. So if you can create the letter T, move the forearms down towards the ground, move the shoulders away from your ears as you pull the heart forward. Take one more breath in. On the exhale, both feet forward, let go of the bind, forward fold, front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. And then take the block once more. Bring the block in between your thighs. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another, and then begin to bend into your knees as you find Utkatasana. Let the hips sink, let the arms reach up. By squeezing the block, let the tailbone drop. Take one more breath in. And then on the exhale, slowly lower all the way down towards the ground. Keep squeezing the block. Bringing the bum all the way onto the floor. As the bum comes down, take the block to the side. Well done. And then roll all the way onto your back body, bringing the knees towards the chest. So now we're going to take our eagle pose on the floor. So from here we start with the legs. Bring the left thigh over the right, and then you can keep them just like this, or you can hook the left big toe behind the right calf. You can hook them all the way around. Now take your eagle arms, right arm underneath the left. You can choose either opposite shoulders or interlacing the hands. Now move the forearms up towards the ceiling, spread behind the heart. Stay here, or lift the right elbow towards the left knee to touch. Engage the core, point your toes. We're going to go for 3. Take a breath in here. On the exhale, tap the hands behind you, tap the right big toe to the floor. And then exhale, bring knee and elbow back together. And tap, and lift. Let's actually go for 5. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. One more time. And lift and hold. Squeeze knee and elbow together. 5, 4, 3. Draw the shoulders away from your ears. 2, and 1. Slowly release the bind. Bring the feet behind you. Set up for bridge pose. Press the feet into the ground. Lift the hips up. Inhale. Take a free breath here. Maybe interlace the hands underneath you or hold them to the outer edges of your mat. And then slowly spread the shoulder blades wide, roll down the spine all the way back, hug the knees into the chest. We want to come to Malasana squat, so we're going to roll up and down the spine to gain some momentum. feet come down, hips lift off. Now as you come forward, we're going to take the apanic version or the rounded version of the Malasana squat. So walk the fingertips forward, let the tailbone be heavy, tuck the chin towards the chest. And then as you're spreading through the back body, see if you can lift the spine straight through your shoulder blades as you spread them. Tailbone heavy. At any time if you feel like you can't lower your heels down, see if you can bring them down to stay connected through your feet. They call it pada bandha. Pada is feet and bandha is lock. So the lock your feet make with the floor. If your heels can't touch, maybe a block underneath the heels would help, or rolling up the mat. And then slowly walking the fingertips back, lifting the heart up. See if you can keep the ribs and the thighs connected. Take a breath in. On the exhale, move the legs towards straight without losing the connection ribs and thighs. The legs might not straighten all the way. On the inhale, lower the hips back down, lift the heart up. And exhale, straighten. Move here a couple of times. Inhale to come down. Exhale to move the legs towards straight. Your breath, your movement. Inhale to come down, heart lifts up. Exhale, legs move towards straight. Let's do that one more time. The next inhale, lower the hips. Your journey back to downward facing dog. So either step back, float back, or if you want to work with a crow, hands come down, lift high into the toes, look forward, ribs and thighs stay connected, knees onto your upper arms, maybe the toes float off, and then you're on your way, either stepping back or floating through chaturanga, through up dog to downward facing dog. Readjusting on the mat. Took a flight off the mat. Keeping your gaze steady. And the next inhale, reach the right leg up. Exhale, draw the knee into the chest, step the foot in between your hands, lower the left knee down. Inhale, low lunge, reach your arms up. And your gaze can follow here. Maybe the drishti goes up towards the hands. And that might mean that you have to move the head so it comes behind your arms. Spiraling the triceps forward. Take one more breath in. On the exhale, bend your elbows, find your cactus shape. Let the heart lift. Draw the frontal hips away from the ground. Neck long. One more breath in. On the exhale, find your eagle arms. This time, left arm underneath the right. Opposite shoulders or inside the palms. Maybe holding onto the wrist. Moving the elbows in line with your shoulders and then forearms away from you. Breathe behind the heart. Now we want to move towards Virabhadrasana 3. You can stay with the hands interlaced. You can always grab opposite shoulders to have a more clear drishti. And from here, tuck the back toes under, lift the left knee off, lean forward, shift forward, step the left foot off your mat. Keep wrapping the left toe down towards the floor, let the forearms move towards the ground. At the same time, draw the heart forward. Grow long for the crown of the head, neck long. One more breath in. On the exhale, left foot meets the right, fold forward, let go of the bind. Take an inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale to fold. And then find Utkatasana, this time without the block. Keep squeezing the inner thighs towards one another. Arms reach up. Stay here, lift high onto the toes. Stay stable for the core, tailbone heavy. Okay, steady, somewhere in front of you. Notice when your eyes move. And then one small lowering all the way down towards the ground. Let the hips touch down, roll onto your back, bring the knees into the chest. And then we take the eagle shape on the second side. This time right thigh over left. You decide if you want to just stay here or hook the right toes behind the left calf. And then bring the left arm underneath the right. Take your eagle arms or your variation of it. And then drive the forearms up. Draw the shoulders away from your ears. Stay here or bring the left elbow into the right knee. Engage the core, keep the breath soft, keep it flowing. Stay here or we go for 5. Tap the hands behind you, tap the left big toe to the ground. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. 3 more times, your breath, your movement. For 2. And 1. Once you come up, hold left elbow into right knee. 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, slowly release, bring the feet down, set up for your bridge pose. Inhale, lift the hips up, once again holding onto the outer edges of your mat, maybe interlacing the hands. Even though the block isn't there anymore, keep the memory there. So you can keep your eyes closed here and keep the drishti pointed into, or the focus pointed into the sensations. Otherwise you can either look to your navel or straight up towards the ceiling. And then slowly release, roll down the spine, hug the knees into the chest, find your malasana squat, gain some momentum, come up. And then from here, we're moving back to down dog. Once again, hands ground down, high into the toes, look forward, lift off. Maybe you float through Bakasana. And then downward facing dog is where we meet. If you're too far forward, you can readjust on your mat. And take one more breath in. On the exhale, melt your knees down towards the ground. And then from here, step the right foot back, reach the right arm up, find your modified side plank. The left toes can step towards the left outer side of your mat just for stability. And reach the top arm up like you have wings that go in oppositions. But one wing is really giving you feedback. So as you press the left hand down, the right arm reaches up. Lengthen the tailbone back. On the next inhale, float the right foot off the ground. Keep flexing the toes towards your hips. Stand against an object in space behind you. Next inhale, reach the right arm forward, search for length. And the exhale, both knees down, just change sides. Left foot steps back, left arm reaches up. Search for length through the front body. At the same time, spread the shoulder blades wide. So don't let the heart move too far forward. You're not looking for bows. See if you can search for length through the spine. The next inhale, float the left foot off the floor, flex the toes, like you're standing against an object in space. Next inhale, reach the left arm forward. One more breath in for length. And the exhale, both hands, both feet come down. Keep the hips over your knees, walk the hands forward. Find your anahatasana, let the heart melt down towards the ground. Maybe the forehead touches. You don't want to just let yourself empty out on the floor. So even though this is not such an intense pose for most of us, can you keep the navel drawing back, moving the tailbone back in space? Keeping the lower belly hollowing, so you're searching for length and buoyancy underneath you. And you feel like you're holding yourself from the inside. Keep the breath moving. Here the gaze can either be straight on the floor or closed. And from here, walk the hands back. Find your forearms onto the ground. They can be parallel towards one another, or they should be parallel towards one another. Take one block in front of you, and then bring the tips of the pinky against the block so the palms are flat. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees off the ground, walk the feet in, find your dolphin shape. Lift the hips up high. Now you can stay here. We're here for around 5 rounds of breath. You want to lift one leg, take a 3-legged dolphin. If you have pincha in your practice, lift one leg up, look forward, And then maybe you take a little jump and balance on your forearms. Keep pressing the floor away. Keeping the gaze steady. If you're looking back either towards the nose or the navel, if you're up in pincha and you're looking in between your hands, maybe you drop the gaze towards the back of the mat. And then find your way out. Both feet down, walk the feet back, find your forearm plank. Take a breath in, and then on the exhale, lower the hips down towards the ground. Well done. Block to the side. Lower down onto your chest. Reach the left arm out towards the side in line with the shoulder. Come onto the right fingertips, bend the right knee as you step the right foot behind. Finding your shoulder twist, your shoulder opener, side of the head relaxed. Maybe walking the right fingertips forward, searching for length and space from the right knee towards the right fingers. Stay in the awareness of breath. Gaze turned inwards, maybe on Ujjayi breath if you're working with it. On your next inhale, return through center. Change over to the other side. Right arm straight out, in line with the shoulder, left toe step behind. Side of the head relaxed. You can decide if you want to walk the left fingertips forward, search for length from the left knee to the fingers. Let the gaze turn inwards whenever possible. When the gaze is steady, you find balance. And sometimes we search for balance inside. So by closing the eyes symbolically, you're becoming steady inside. By becoming aware of what is going on in there. And then bring the left hand back underneath the left shoulder, roll to center. Now from here, we're going to take Shalambhasana, reaching the arms back, floating the chest off the floor, floating the legs off the ground. Search for length through the spine. Now stay here or bend through your knees. Maybe you catch your ankles with your hands. If you catch the ankles, kick the feet back into your hands, lift the heart off, lift the thighs off. See if you can spread the sit bones apart, keeping the neck long, looking towards the horizon. Continue to breathe. And then slowly release. As you release down, bring the hands underneath your shoulders, shift back over hands and knees. Find your downward facing dog. Just readjusting my mic. And then as you find your downward facing dog, let the next inhale reach the left leg up. Exhale, draw the knee into the chest, step the foot in between your hands. And then walk the hands around, find Skandasana towards the back of the mat. Straightening the left leg. And then keep the hips low, just change towards the left side. So moving right to left, bending into the left leg. And then as you straighten both legs, find your wild straddle forward fold. So feet wide, maybe the heels wider apart than your toes. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold in between your thighs. Walking the hands back. Searching for this chaturanga sensation through your arms. Keep squeezing the inner heels towards one another to keep the thighs active. And then you can decide if the head is touching and you have tripod in your practice, maybe the crown of the head comes down, the heels come off, the feet float up. Keep hugging the elbows in if you're upside down. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together if you stay with the feet down. And then if you're up, bring the feet back down. Walk the hands back forward underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, Skandasana towards the back of the mat. Bend into the right knee. Keep the hips low as you move forward. Bring the fingertips down and then shift off to find your warrior 3. Back heel spins down. Now from here, you should have the block right at the front of your mat. Grab the block, place the block underneath your left hand, right underneath the shoulder, on the highest setting potentially. And then from here, see if you can bring the right hand to the right hip and begin to open the hip out towards the side. Just like we did on the modified side plank, keep the back foot flexed as you begin to turn your chest and your hips towards the side. Search for length, maybe the right arm reaches up. Keeping the feet back through the right palm. Extending into oppositions, take one more breath in. On the exhale, both feet down, front of the mat, forward fold. Move the block to the side, most likely to the right side of your mat, so you have it handy for the next side. And then begin to slowly roll up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Okay, hands to the hips. Bring the left knee into the chest, and then find your full eagle pose. So left thigh over the right. You can wrap the left toes all around the right leg. And then from here, reach your arms forward, right arm underneath the left, either opposite shoulders or full eagle. Now lift up through the heart. Stay here, keep your gaze steady in front of you. Or if you want to play, just like what we did on the ground, see if you can bring the right elbow towards the left knee. Curl in, spread behind the heart. And as you hear, maybe you begin to close your eyes. Just playing with the drishti. Noticing the instant sense of stability when you open your eyes. And then we come out the same way we came in. Lift all the way up. This time bring the left knee into the chest. Stay in the eagle arms and then step the left foot all the way back. Finding skandasana towards the back of the mat. You can keep the eagle arms the entire time. Once you come to the back, let the arms go. Shift forward. Bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. Heel toe the right foot out. Lower the left knee down towards the ground. Now reach the left arm up, circle it around. Reach towards the left foot. Maybe you bend and catch the foot with the right hand. Inhale to lift the heart up. Exhale to draw the heel in. And then stay and breathe. It feels natural to roll the right foot onto the knife edge, let it roll. Gaze can be somewhere on the floor or turn towards the back. Really depends on you. You can stay with this, or we begin to add on. Slowly release the foot, and then bring the right forearm down onto the ground. Maybe the left hand joins, and you can stay here. Or if you want to add on, begin to bring the sole of the right foot back flat to the ground, and then bring the right arm underneath the right leg, and really snuggle it under there. And as you snuggle it under there, reach the right fingertips out, reach the left fingertips out. Stay here or tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee off the ground. Search for length through the spine, left heel to the crown of the head. Stay here or begin to turn or begin to lift your wings off the floor like you're flying. Hands leave the ground. Stay here or wrap the thumbs back, bind behind you, taking the full bind around the sacrum. And then if you extra gifted, lift both feet off the ground. Don't lift both feet off the ground. But if you thought you could, well done. If you're floating off the ground, even better. And then we come out the same way we came in. Reach the arms out, both fingertips touch down, lower the knee down towards the ground, walk the hands back inside, straighten your arms, and then from here lift the left knee off, and then bounce through your hips. Bounce through your hips. And now you can either step the left foot just forward, or we're going to just swap the legs. So using the bounce of your hips, left foot forward, right foot back. Lower the right knee down. Take a moment here. Heart pulls forward. Feeling the front of the right hip breathe. And then lift the right knee back off. Step the right foot forward, Malasana squat. From here, once again, we move to downward facing dog. Either you step back or you float through Bakasana. Hands ground down, knees onto your upper arms, and you're on your way. Downward facing dog is where we meet. Next inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, put the foot in between your hands. Walk the hands around, find your straddle position. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale to fold forward. Second side is for you. You can decide whatever you want to do. Maybe you go upside down again. Maybe you feel like interlacing the hands behind you. Maybe grabbing your ankles. Any position you want to choose with your hands. Keeping the gaze steady, either towards your nose, towards the space behind you, or even closing the eyes entirely. Pulling the breath up your legs to keep the legs active. Emptying out through the crown of the head. And if you're upside down, slowly find your way back to the floor. If you have the hands behind you, bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, Skandasana towards the back. Keep the hips low as you move forward. And then ground through your fingertips. Find your warrior 3 position. Back foot floats off the floor. And then take the block with the right hand, bring it right underneath the shoulder, ground down through your palm. See if you can bring the left hand towards the left hip, and then begin to move with the breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, open the hip, open the chest towards the side. Really use the block to press into. Keeping the gaze steady on the floor. Maybe the left arm reaches up. And then maybe the gaze begin to move as well. They can either go towards the wall, or if you feel extra steady, maybe all the way up towards the left hand. Take one more breath in. And the exhale, both feet down, fold forward, front of the mat, block to the side. And then begin to slowly roll up through the spine. All the way, head heavy, arms heavy. Once the head comes up, hands to your hips. Lift the right knee into the chest. And then take your eagle on the other side. Right knee over the left. Wrap the right toes around. Sit into the left leg. And then reach the left arm underneath the right. Take your eagle arms. Gaze steady. Opposite shoulders if you need to. Spread behind the heart. Stay here or begin to curl in. Maybe elbow and knee touch, spread the back body, shoulder blades spread, spine lifts up towards the ceiling. Maybe begin by closing your eyes. And then slowly find your way back out, draw the right knee into the chest as you straighten the left leg. See if you can keep the eagle arms. As you move your drishti, move the right foot all the way back, find Skandasana. Now let go of your hands, shift forward, both hands inside the left foot, heel to the toe out, lower the right knee down, inhale, circle the left arm up and back, stay here reaching back or bend through the right knee, catch the foot. Let the left knee move out towards the side, let the gaze be steady somewhere, maybe your nose, maybe somewhere on the ground, maybe behind you. Stay here the entire time, or slowly release. Bring both forearms to the ground. If you can't bring the forearms to the ground, you can also stay on your hands. You can also just use a block on your forearms and stay here the entire time. Should have maybe said that on the first side. If you want to go further, walk the left hand underneath the left thigh, all the way under there, almost like your shoulder is getting underneath the knee. I'm just going to have to take the mic off here. And then bring the sole of the left foot back flat onto the ground. Come onto the fingertips, reach the right arm out towards the side as well. Stay here or tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee off the ground. Stay here if you feel stable. Lift your wings off the ground like you're flying. Stay here or wrap the thumbs back, internally rotate both arms as you take the full bind behind you. And then search for length. Right here all the way to the crown of the head. Keeping the gaze steady in front of you. And then we release the same way we came in. Arms reach out, Fingertips come back down, right knee comes back down, bring both hands inside, and then lift your chest back up. Lift the right knee up, bring some buoyancy, some bouncing underneath your hips as you change sides. You can either step or float the right foot forward, left foot back, lower the left knee down, pull the heart forward, maybe you come onto fingertips, let the left frontal hip breathe. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. And then lift the left knee back off. Step it forward into Malasana squat. You can either stay here and hold the Malasana squat or move with us through one short little sequence through a Vinyasa and then through a handstand back into the squat. But you can stay here the entire time to train. This is also really, really helpful, lifting the heart up, drawing the shoulder blades down. If you want to move with us, hands down, lift the hips up. Search for your Bakasana, maybe just step back. Downward facing dog is where we meet. And then from your downward facing dog, begin to step the toes just slightly forward. Look in between your hands. We're going to do little tuck jumps, but instead of just keeping the knees together and squeeze into the chest, let the knees come out wide and see if you can clap the feet together like you're giving yourself a little bit of applause. We take maybe 3 to 4 rounds. You clap once. If you clap once, you clap twice. If you clap twice, maybe 3 times. So a little buoyancy at the knees. And then take a little jump. Maybe you clap once and come back down. And then once you clap once, maybe twice, jump up and back down. If you clap twice, maybe 3 times, maybe even find some more airtime up there. Keep pressing the floor away. Keep squeezing the soles of the feet together. And then we meet in the Malasana squat at the front of the mat. Well done. Okay, from here, everyone join back. Lower the hips down, roll yourself onto the back body. Set up for your bridge pose. Lift the hips up, maybe interlace the hands underneath you. I'm going to do one active version of this so you can choose if you want to stay here in bridge pose or if you want to go all the way to wheel. Wheel is still, all back bends are part of my kryptonite and I find it really difficult to talk there. So I cue you from here. You want to go up to Urdhva Dhanurasana, bring the hands next to your ears, fingers pointing towards your shoulders. Take a breath in to come onto the crown of the head, and another breath to come all the way up. Keep the neck soft. Keep the gaze resting somewhere in space. Keep squeezing the thighs like you have that block still in between your legs. Most important, don't forget to breathe. If you're up, take one more round of breath. Stay for one more inhale. And then slowly lower yourself back down, rolling all the way down onto the floor, feet wide, knees together, one hand on the belly, one hand on your chest. Turning your gaze inwards, noticing the breath. Letting the breath dance up and down the spine. And then from here, see if you can catch the block with one of your feet and pull it up towards your hips. Lift the hips back up, take a supported bridge. Lower the sacrum onto the block, maybe middle setting. You can also go higher or lower. Then reach the arms over your head. Advisable to let the eyes close down. Turn the drishti inwards. Stay here, straighten your legs. We're here for just a totality of 5 rounds of breath. If you straighten the legs, it might be nicer to have a block on a lower setting. But you do you. And then from here, rebend your knees, lift the hips off the block, take the block out underneath you, and let the hips come down, let the arms go out wide, and then let the knees fall over towards one side. You can either lift the knees over your hips or just keep the feet in your bridge set up. Just let the knees fall towards the right, finding your twist, taking 3 rounds of breath into the spine, maybe the gaze straight ahead, or you turn them towards the left thumb. Eyes can also stay closed. With the next inhale, bring the knees through center over to the other side. Maybe the gaze over towards the right, maybe the eyes stay closed. If it doesn't feel good in the neck to turn the head, you can always have the head straight up, nose straight up. It's the same in all other poses like warrior 2 or anything where you have your head turned to the side. If the neck doesn't like it, the drishti is wherever it is. Teacher Vichari says to the question, where is the drishti? He says, well, the drishti is wherever you look. So it really depends on what is good for you. But the focus should always be there. In the next inhale, bring the knees back towards center. Hug them into the chest, give yourself a big squeeze. Maybe you take a quick happy baby pose, reaching for the outside of your legs, knees wide, back of the neck long. If you can't reach your feet and keep the tailbone down, maybe you just hold onto your knees. Very briefly, we come here just for a couple of rounds of breath, taking any last wiggles or movements side to side. If you want to stay longer here, you can always do so. You get the luxury of practicing from home. And then hug the knees into the chest. And on the next exhale, release into Shavasana. Let the legs travel down your mat, arms by your side, elongating through the neck, maybe closing down through your eyes. Take a moment to soften. You've been here before, in half Shavasana when we started. So notice how you might feel any different. And in the moment you notice how you might feel any different here, begin to drain all the tension from your body. Tension from your legs and arms, muscles around your eyes, your face. Relaxing your tongue. And then softening into the heart space. Gifting yourself some stillness. Nothing else to do. Nowhere else to be. Shavasana. Thank you so much for your time, your presence. I hope you take some extra time to remain present with your own body, with your own energy, letting yourself rest and observe the vibrations and the residue of the practice. I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. Namaste.